Welcome to the Running Network Show. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
This is Marathon Don Kern in Fukuchiyama, Japan. Unlike the rest of the places I've been, not only can I not understand the language here, I also can't even understand the letters. Fukuchiyama is the site of the fourth of my 7 marathons. Everything here is in Japanese, of course. Very little reference to English. I had to find my hotel by picking out the phone numbers. It's an area of Japan, unlike a big city like Tokyo, where nearly everybody is taking English classes and learning English for business. There aren't that many people here who speak very fluent English. So I was able to fight my way through menus a little bit, with the help of pictures and so on, but it wasn't that easy to even order things to eat here. As the race got started, I had a little bit of anxiety because I really hadn't had much to eat that morning. I was only 2 days, actually less than 2 days out. It was like running a marathon on Sunday morning and then Tuesday night if you look at the actual time schedule. In spite of the fact it's Wednesday here, we're 14 hours ahead of home. So I hadn't had a lot of recovery time. I was feeling pretty good, but still I was a little concerned. There's a 6-hour cutoff, and you know, I'm in 5.5 hour shape, I like to think. Actually I ran a sub 5 the other day, but I ran 5:48 in Curitiba, so I was a little bit scared, thinking I really need to just pay attention all day and stay on it and make sure I'm doing good. We started out the race, and it was the first 2 kilometers was pretty much downhill. And so it had me wondering, okay, I know the last 2 are going to be uphill, so I'm going to have to save a little bit of juice for that too and make sure I'm staying ahead of schedule all the time. So as I went on, we went a loop through town. We hit 5K. I was feeling pretty good, pretty close to on schedule, a little bit ahead of where I had hoped to be at that point. And then we continued on, and as we made a turn at about 12K or so, it was a long out and back stretch. And just after we made the turn, we saw the 40-kilometer mark coming back the other way, so I had a pretty good idea after running a few more kilometers and seeing where they matched up on the out and back that we're going to turn around somewhere in the neighborhood of 24 to 25, between 24 and 25K. So now all the time we were running out, it just felt like we were running downhill all the time. You could look off in the distance and it seemed like the people were running downhill. As we got out far enough to where the fast guys were coming back at us, it looked like they were all running pretty steady, so it didn't really look like they were laboring too much, but it had me wondering. I felt like there's going to be a lot of downhill on the out. That means there's going to be a lot of uphill on the back for the last 17K. As we went along, we got bananas. We had lots of Amino Vital, which is what they serve for sports drink over here. Lots of water. Very well supported course. We went along. We got these little candies, which were just a little square, and it was kind of a spicy, sugary. Really tasted good. Really hit the spot. So I was feeling better fed, better hydrated as I went along. Felt like I never got into any debt on my hydration or on my nutrition or anything. We kept going, got closer and closer to the turnaround. I hit the halfway mark in under 2.5 hours, and so I was feeling pretty good about myself, thinking this is working out really good. I'm going to do okay. I went farther on down the road and had I knew the turnaround was going to be somewhere between 24 and 25, and sure enough, I hit the turnaround with 3 hours, which meant I had a little over 17K to go in the next 3 hours. This wasn't going to be a hard thing to do at all, and I was still feeling great. I was running good, feeling strong. After the turn, though, we got through the 25K mark, and then there was a party. As we went up to the turn, we actually got a little bit of food and little chocolate squares. But then after we made the turn, there was Japanese drummers there, pounding on the drums, making a lot of noise for us. And there were tables lined with hot chocolate and hot tea and little triangular rice cakes. So we had a little bit of rice, a little bit of hot chocolate, a little bit of tea. That kilometer suffered just a little bit in my time schedule, but I had a great time. It was wonderful getting a little food out there on the course, and the spirit of the people here is just great. I kept going, and the farther into it I got, the more people, a tremendous amount of people just walking by the time we got to about 30K, and from there on in it was a lot of weaving in and out, trying to get around people that were actually walking. There were a bunch of us still running, but we kept going. At about 32K or so, there was a table there with another little party with people had all kinds of little snack things on there, candies and so on, and a couple bottles of wine. So I stopped, had a glass of wine, and it looked like I was the first one that had one actually, and the people there that were hosting that table were pretty excited about the fact that I would stop during the middle of a marathon and have a glass of wine. But that kilometer split was a little slow too. So anyway, I continued on. It felt really good. I was going really great. Everything was working the way I wanted it to. It felt good. It felt wonderful, and I'm just excited about it. It was going good. It was going better than I expected. I felt good all day long. I got to the 1K to go mark and decided I would see how many people I could pass in a final kilometer. So I managed to pass about 22 people. It was great. I felt good. Made the final turn, which is just a very short jog over to the finish line. Crossed the finish line, feeling great, feeling excited. It was way better of a day than I thought. It didn't seem like long. I was strong all day. I felt good, and it was just a great time. I had a great time out there. After the finish, we were escorted through a line to pick up our race shirts. We had finisher shirts. We didn't have medals, but we had race shirts, and we had went through a line where they had computer terminals. They punched in the number and printed out a finisher certificate for us. So I could read the numbers and my name on it. Everything else is in Japanese, of course. But it was great just having that documentation right there. Everything was wonderful. I finished the race. I felt good. I was in good shape, and I made it over to the refreshments area. Got some hot soup with some meat and some noodles and some vegetables in it. Served with chopsticks, of course. And you eat with the chopsticks and you drink the soup out of the cup. But that was really good. It was the nourishment I needed, some hot salty broth. They had some hot chocolate there that was something that resembled a marshmallow square in it. And it was different than anything I'd ever had, but it tasted pretty good, and really kind of hit the spot after all that running and that long day out on the course. So had a great time. Marathon number 4 is in the books. That's 4 continents in the span of about 17 days and 3 hours. It was pretty exciting to get that many in. I started thinking about how long ago this thing started. It seems like Soweto, South Africa was a long time ago, but I am right on schedule. Everything's looking good. I'm feeling great and looking forward to the next thing. So again, from Fukuchiyama, Japan, this is Marathon Don for Michigan Runner and the Running Network.